There is a question that haunts the minds of good men in the modern world. It's a quiet, frustrating question, often asked late at night after another disappointment. The question is this: why does it feel like my goodness is a liability? You are the man who is always there for others. You are kind, empathetic, and reliable. You listen to her problems. You support your friends. You avoid conflict and strive for harmony. You are by all definitions a nice guy, and yet you are perpetually taken for granted. You are overlooked for promotions. Your kindness is mistaken for weakness. And in your relationships, you find yourself disrespected, manipulated, or relegated to the friend zone, watching women choose men who seem to possess a fraction of your decency. You look at your life and you can't help but wonder if the very thing you value most about yourself, your own goodness, is actually your greatest weakness. What if I told you that you are right? What if the brand of goodness you have been taught to practice is, in fact, a counterfeit, a weakened, passive, and self-sabotaging version of the real thing? What if I told you that true, virtuous goodness, as understood by the great Stoic masters, is not a soft pillow for others to rest on, but a sharpened shield and a steady sword? This is the secret of the Stoic shield. It is a lost art of forging a goodness so strong, so self-respecting, and so deeply rooted in principle that it becomes your ultimate weapon, a tool that protects you from exploitation, commands respect, and allows you to be a powerful force for good in the world without being a doormat. Today, we begin the process of melting down the counterfeit gold of modern niceness and forging the hard steel of Stoic virtue. We will reveal the 3 essential metals you must acquire to create this shield. And pay close attention, because the 3rd metal is the one that specifically protects you from the subtle poison of manipulative and narcissistic personalities. This is not about becoming a bad person. It is about learning to be a good man in a world that will relentlessly test you. Before we can forge a shield, we must first understand the flawed material we are currently using. We must deconstruct the pathology of niceness. What our culture often calls niceness is not a true virtue. More often than not, it is a strategy born from fear. The nice guy is often not acting from a place of genuine, unconditional kindness. He is acting from a place of profound insecurity. He is nice in order to get something. He is agreeable in order to be liked. He avoids conflict in order to maintain a fragile peace. He gives endlessly in order to create a sense of obligation in the other person. His niceness is a covert contract. He is making a silent offering and is perpetually frustrated and resentful in the world, and the women in it do not hold up their end of a bargain they never agreed to. From a Stoic perspective, this counterfeit niceness is a catastrophic failure of character. It violates the core virtues. It lacks courage because it is terrified of confrontation and setting boundaries. It lacks wisdom because as a strategy for earning respect and attraction, it is demonstrably ineffective. And most importantly, it lacks justice. The Stoics believed justice was about giving each their due. The man who allows himself to be exploited is not being just the most important person he is responsible for protecting. Himself. This counterfeit goodness is the source of your frustration. But now, we begin to forge the real thing. We will smelt the first and most essential metal for your shield, the unbending iron of your boundaries. This is the first metal. Stoic justice, reforged as self-respect. A shield's primary purpose is to defend. It is a tool that clearly defines where you end and the outside world begins. A boundary is the sharpened edge of that shield. The man who is exploited for his kindness is a man without edges. He is a formless puddle of accommodation, and people will naturally step in him without a second thought. To forge this iron, you must reframe the Stoic virtue of justice. It is not just about being fair to others. It is about being ruthlessly just to yourself. Being just to yourself means recognizing that your time, your energy, your focus, and your emotional peace are your most valuable, non-renewable resources. You have a sacred duty to protect them. A boundary is not a wall you build to keep the world out. It is a declaration of the laws of your own sovereign territory. It is you, as the king of your own mind, stating the non-negotiable terms of engagement. Forging this iron requires you to sit down in a time of calm and rational thought and define these laws. You must ask yourself, what behaviors from others are a fundamental drain on my resources and a violation of my own self-respect. Your list might include, I will not tolerate being spoken to in a disrespectful or condescending tone. I will not be a person's emotional dumping ground. My time is valuable, and I will not allow it to be consistently wasted by people who are late or non-committal. I will not sacrifice my own well-being to please someone who does not have my best interests at heart. These are not rules to control others. You can never control others. They are rules for your own conduct. They are the triggers for your own action. When a law is broken, you don't argue or try to change the other person. You calmly and decisively enforce the consequence, which is often a simple, powerful act of removing your presence. This single act of defining and defending your own territory is the first step away from being a nice guy and toward being a good man. It is a declaration of self-worth. If you've ever felt the frustration of your own kindness being used against you, then you know this is not just another video. It is a lifeline. The commitment to forging this shield is a commitment to your own self-respect. Take the first step in that commitment. Subscribe to the channel right now and share this with another good man who needs to hear this. Let's start forging. A shield is a defensive tool. It is strong, but it is static. To be truly powerful, a man must also have a sword. He needs an active, forward-moving principle in his life. The iron of your boundaries, on its own, can feel arbitrary and difficult to defend. To give it strength and purpose, you must temper it with the second metal. This second metal is the steel of your purpose, forged from Stoic courage. The courage to say no, to enforce a boundary, and to risk the disapproval of others does not come from a vacuum. It comes from having a powerful, unwavering yes burning in your heart. This is your mission. Your purpose is a sword to your shield of boundaries. It is the active principle. It is the grand project of your life that gives you a compelling reason why you must protect your time and energy so fiercely. Without a mission, your boundaries are just a wall around an empty lot. With a mission, your boundaries are fortified walls of a great city under construction. When a man is possessed by a powerful purpose, his perspective on exploitation changes completely. He no longer sees a manipulative or controlling person as just an emotional annoyance. He sees them for what they are, a thief of his time, a thief of his focus, a thief of the very energy he needs to build his empire, master his craft, and become the man he is meant to be. The courage to enforce your boundaries comes directly from your devotion to your mission. You are not just protecting your feelings. You are protecting your destiny. When a woman demands all your free time and creates drama when you need to work, you are not just facing a difficult conversation. You are facing a direct threat to your life's purpose. When a friend constantly brings negativity and chaos into your life, they are not just being difficult. They are poisoning the well from which you must drink to have the strength to pursue your goals. Protecting yourself is not selfish. It is your sacred duty to the potential that lies within you. You must have the courage to be the ruthless guardian of your own focus. Your no to the demands of others is a powerful yes to your own mission. The steel of your purpose is what gives the iron of your boundaries its unbreakable strength. With the iron of your boundaries and the steel of your purpose, you have forged a formidable defense. You have a shield to protect you and a sword to guide you. You can now defend yourself from the most common forms of exploitation. But there exists a more advanced and insidious threat. This is the subtle poison of the skilled emotional manipulator, the controller, and the narcissist. To defend against them, your shield needs one final layer. It needs a mirrored surface that reflects their toxicity back at them, revealing them for what they are. In the continuation of this guide, we will teach you how to forge and polish that mirror, the silver of Stoic discernment, and become immune to their influence. We have begun the sacred work of the Stoic blacksmith. We have taken the counterfeit gold of modern niceness and thrown it into the forge. We have smelted the first two essential metals for your defense. The hard iron of your boundaries, forged from a virtue of justice to the self, and the unbreakable steel of your purpose, forged from the Stoic virtue of courage. With this shield and sword, you are already more powerful and more resilient than the man you were when you started this video. You can now defend yourself from the common opportunist and the casual disrespect that plagues a nice guy. But now we must address a more advanced and insidious threat. There are those in the world who are not merely opportunistic, but are master artisans of psychological warfare. The emotional manipulator, the controller, the narcissist. These individuals do not attack your shield with frontal assault. They seek to bypass it with subtle, corrosive poison. They attack your mind. They seek to warp your reality, to make you doubt your own perceptions, and to turn your own empathy into a weapon against you. To defend against this, your shield needs its third and final layer. This brings us to the third metal, the silver mirror discernment, forged from Stoic wisdom. A manipulator's primary weapons are not anger or threats. They are guilt, shame, and confusion. They create a fog of emotional war. They will use tactics like gaslighting, making you question your own memory and sanity. They will use guilt tripping, framing their selfish desires as a test of your love. They will play the perpetual victim, making you feel responsible for their happiness. The nice guy is uniquely vulnerable to these attacks because he is desperate to be seen as a good person, and the manipulator uses this desire against him. Your iron boundary is not enough, because they will try to convince you that your boundary is an act of cruelty. Your steel purpose is not enough, because they will frame it as selfish. To defend against this, you need a shield that doesn't just block, but reflects. You need a polished, silver mirror that shows their manipulation for what it is. This mirror is forged from the Stoic virtue of wisdom, which, in this context, is the practice of radical objectivity and dispassionate observation. To forge this mirror, you must first commit to a fundamental principle. Trust actions, not words. The manipulator is a master of language. They will weave beautiful stories, make grand promises, and profess their undying affection. The Stoic alchemist is not seduced by words. He is a scientist of human behavior. He watches patterns. She says she values your ambition, but she acts in a way that consistently sabotages your focus. He says he respects you, but he acts in a way that consistently belittles you. The mirror of discernment reflects the actions, not the beautiful mirage of their words. The second step in forging the mirror is mastering emotional detachment. A manipulator needs your emotional reaction to know their poison is working. They need you to get defensive, to feel guilty, to become confused. Your emotional turmoil is their victory. The Stoic practices a dichotomy of control. He recognizes that their attempts to manipulate his feelings, their sighs of disappointment, their cutting remarks, their theatrical sadness, are external events. They are tactics. He does not have to internalize them. His calm, non-reactive state is the polished surface of the mirror. When the manipulator fires a dart of guilt, if you really love me, you would cancel your plans. The man with the mirror does not get defensive. He doesn't absorb the poison. The mirror reflects the tactic. He calmly responds not to the emotional manipulation, but with a statement of his own rational reality. My affection for you and my commitment to my own plans are two separate things. I am not going to cancel. He does not argue. He does not explain. He simply reflects. The manipulator's tactic is rendered useless because it finds no emotional fuel in him. It is like a ghost trying to punch a stone wall. This calm, unshakable grip on your own reality is what makes you immune to their games. With your shield now complete, forged in the iron of boundaries, the steel of purpose, and polished with the silver mirror to summit, you are no longer a nice guy. You are a good man. And a good man operates by a clear set of rules of engagement. Rule number 1, your calm is your weapon. In any high-stakes interaction, the person with the most emotional control holds the most power. A non-reactive man is a black hole for manipulation. It cannot survive without your emotional energy. Practice the Stoic pause. Let your silence do the heavy lifting. Your calm is not passive. It is an active, impenetrable defense. Rule number 2, master the art of the Stoic no. The nice guy believes his no must come with a long apology and a detailed explanation. This invites negotiation and further manipulation. The Stoic man understands that no is a complete sentence. It is the verbal enforcement of a boundary. When you must say no, say it calmly, firmly, and without excessive justification. I will not be able to do that. End of statement. You do not owe the world an explanation for protecting your own well-being. Rule number 3, be willing to lose the battle to win the war. The The war is for the preservation of your soul, your peace, and your mission. Sometimes, winning this war means being willing to lose a specific battle, a job, a friendship, or even a romantic relationship. The man with the shield is never truly trapped because he is willing to walk away. His ultimate allegiance is not to situation, but to his own internal constitution. This willingness to walk away is the final guarantee of his freedom. We must conclude with the ultimate truth of this philosophy. The goal of forging the Stoic shield is not to become an unfeeling, isolated man who trusts no one. The opposite is true. The counterfeit nice guy cannot truly love because his kindness is tainted by fear and need. The man with the shield, however, is now free to be genuinely and powerfully good because he is no longer afraid of being exploited. He can give his kindness freely and joyfully to those who have earned it because he is no longer a people pleaser. His compliments and his affection are felt as authentic and deeply meaningful. Because he is not afraid of being alone, he can enter a relationship not out of neediness, but out of a conscious and powerful choice. The Stoic shield allows you to be both kind and dangerous. You become a man who is a source of immense warmth, loyalty, and compassion to those within his circle, to those who respect his laws and his kingdom. And you become a man who is a dangerous and immovable obstacle to those who would seek to manipulate, disrespect, or exploit him. This is the duality of the complete and virtuous man. The frustration you have felt your entire life has come from a misunderstanding. Your goodness was never the weakness. Your lack of a shield was. Today is the day you stop showing up to the battlefield of life with nothing but good intentions. It is the day you begin the noble, necessary work of forging the character, the purpose, and the wisdom to protect the good man that you are.